Welcome to Our Morning Take. You know, Abe, it works a lot better if you actually just dial down the right dial.
Really?
My name is Frank Johnson.
And I'm Abraham Lawrence.
I don't even know if we said that yesterday or not.
I don't think we did.
I don't think people even know who we are.
You got a little heavy-handed over there,
Yes,
but we got it worked out.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
All right. Sorry, buddy. Anyway, you're listening to a podcast that tries to get the movie going in your head. And this whole Esau and Jacob thing sort of lends itself to exactly what we do, doesn't it, bro?
Yes. What a good story, though.
They sort of go away from the Isaac and, from the Esau and Jacob story, and they talk about Isaac in chapter 26. I almost want to skip it, but I think that we will at least talk about it a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, we can talk about. Well, let's talk a little bit about the. In 25, it talks about how Isaac and Rebecca, I couldn't think of her name for a minute, have favorites.
Yeah. You think that's typical among parents?
Well, if it is, it's you don't say it, but it's obvious at times, especially if you have like 3 or 4. Sometimes parents, they don't intentionally do it, but it happens. I mean, the Brady Bunch, for example, like.
Oh, you couldn't have picked a better family. That's awesome.
Think about Jan Brady. No one ever paid any attention.
Marsha.
No one ever paid attention to Jan.
That's right.
No.
Who would? Cindy was just too cute, right?
And she was like the little kid, but Marsha got all the attention.
You know what I'm really ashamed of?
What?
I know these stupid kids' names.
Oh yeah,
there was Peter.
Too. Yeah.
But that's the only one I know of the boy. Well, Greg and Peter and what was
the little one,
yeah.
Bobby.
Bobby
was like the rambunctious one. He was always into something.
Oh my goodness.
See, Greg was into stuff, but he always pretended like he was Mr. Cool. But he was doing some things that he shouldn't have.
Okay, but I'm glad that you did bring this up. It's actually a point that I wanted to make, because check this out. The Old Testament, as we're reading this, it really doesn't tell us what we're supposed to get out of the story.
Right,
it just gives us the story. Paul, however, in Romans, he interprets it for us.
Yes.
Why did God tell Rebekah that? Why does Jacob, the younger, get to lord over the older? Well, we know why, because we're seeing the story.
Yes, absolutely.
And nothing is said about Isaac having a favorite, having Esau as his favorite, or Jacob being a mama's boy. And yet, I believe the Bible really is trying to teach us that that's not good.
No,
is it?
It's not.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, since we're, opening this up, God speaks this to Rebecca. Does she tell Isaac what happened? Or does,
No.
She doesn't say a word?
No, she keeps it to herself.
She don't say nothing
I'll
about
guarantee you she doesn't, because Isaac, he would have understood what the heck happened, what's going to happen here in about another chapter.
Yep.
And he has no idea what's going on. He has no idea how in the world he blessed Jacob instead of Esau. No, I think Rebecca knows that Isaac's got a favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to just keep this under wraps.
Let me ask you this, too, though. The movie in my head, what I was just thinking about, though, maybe Rebecca, because she is told this, maybe she kind of waits to see if this is going to play out or not. Because, you don't want to be saying something that sort of predetermines what we're going to do with the kids. What if she shares this with Isaac, and then they just both just like Jacob because he's the chosen one, and poor old Esau, he just gets kicked to the curb.
Or if Isaac's like, we're not going to do that, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there you go. I don't know.
So do you have a favorite?
Yeah, Jacob. Mr. Trickster himself.
Yes.
He's going to meet his match here in a few weeks.
I was referring to your kids.
Oh, my kids?
Yeah.
Man, don't do that. That's horrible. That's why I've got one living with me. So the other 4 are already thinking that that's my favorite.
Well, they're all your favorites. That's the answer. They're all your favorites. All of my kids are my favorites.
I will say this. On Father's Day, one of my daughters, I had 2 of my daughters there. One of my daughters gives me a card that says, "I love you, Dad," signed, "Your favorite daughter." That's what it said. So there you go.
That is hilarious.
You know which one that was?
Jenny.
See, you don't know.
That is amazing.
It was Krista.
Oh, wow.
She knows she's my favorite.
Oh, wow.
They're
all your favorite.
Jenny just signed off. We just lost another listener.
Oh, the podcast has been terminated.
All right. So let's get back to...
back in. But on a serious note, though, so Rebecca has this information.
Oh, yeah.
And she keeps it to herself.
I think so, yeah. Just to see how it plays
obviously
out.
She's very observant of everything that's going on. Henceforth, the fact that she knows when this happens. Yeah. Because she's all over it.
Do you think because Jacob and her are pretty close that he might have went to her and said, Esau sold me his birthright?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Rebecca
100%.
probably went, well, I don't really know 100%. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she still concocts this whole thing to get Jacob the blessing.
Yeah.
When really, why doesn't she just leave it in God's hands? God's already told her this is what's going to happen. It's like, it's sort of a little like the Sarah and the Hagar
it was just about
thing.
just like the in-laws. Yeah. Just like her in-laws. Yeah. You know, same deal. Yeah. We're going to handle this.
I don't know how much of this whole, let's paraphrase the 26th chapter.
Yeah,
so
we don't
just
have to
get
read
to the
the
good
whole
stuff.
thing.
Part of the reason I do even want to cover it is because Isaac kind of goes through the same thing his dad did.
Yeah. Now,
father, like son.
Did they have a conversation, or is this coincidence, or is it hereditary? Like, you know,
hereditary.
You know,
to call your wife your sister.
Hey, I did it. It worked for me. So
yeah. So anyway, they have this. It says that Isaac settles in Gerar, and verse 6 says Isaac lived in Gerar, and when the men of the place asked about his wife, he said, "She's my sister." Now, what in the world? Did he not learn from his dad that that's not what you do? She's my sister. And he said he was afraid to say my wife, thinking the men might kill him on account of Rebecca, for she is beautiful. You know, I don't know if these women are this beautiful or if the men, the husbands just think their wife is that beautiful. One of the men probably should have said, look, dude, you're not getting killed over this woman, okay?
She looks like
she's not bad. But.
Yeah, if she looks like Phyllis Diller, you ain't got nothing to worry about, bro.
Oh my
Stay as long as you like.
He was afraid to tell him. And in verse 8, it said it came about that he'd been there a long time. Abimelech, the king. Now, this is where we were talking about Abimelech might just be a title.
Yeah.
I don't think, just by the way this plays out, that this is the same Abimelech, because I'm positive that Abimelech would have said, look, the old man did the same thing with me, okay, and I didn't appreciate it. But what it is I think the story might have came down. Yeah. He's probably like, what is wrong with these dudes? They all married their sister, and then oh, my God.
So verse 8, what does it say in your version?
Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out through a window, and he saw, and behold, Isaac was caressing his wife. Oh, what's that say in the King James?
Sporting.
Sporting, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so next time when you go home, you're like, I was sporting Brandy today.
Spooning.
No.
We use spooning, too. So. The spooning is related to sporting, right?
Oh, I don't know. I have to find that out. But I'm thinking, okay, so if you're just temporarily in a place, it's not a big deal. But they've been here for a while, so
they've settled in.
Yeah, what's going on over here?
Yeah, yeah. So caressing his wife, and Abimelech called Isaac and said, "She certainly is your wife, you ding dong. How then did you say she's my sister?" And Isaac said to him, "Because I might die on account of her." Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us? One of the people might easily have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." I mean, that's a serious charge, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
That's the way Abimelech the first felt towards Abraham, too. I just about did something I would have regretted for the rest of my day. Here, take some sheep and get out of here.
Yep.
So does the same thing happen to Isaac?
So then, verse 11, he makes a decree.
Yeah. Abimelech charged all the people, saying, "He who touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." Oh, my goodness.
Okay, gracious. So now here's a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it because they see something in Isaac, or they just think it's morally wrong?
Wow, you just have to come back tomorrow to find out.
Yes.